Hello, this is David. I'm doing a video. Let me get a timestamp here on it. Google, what time is it? What's the date? Well, Google's not doing its job here. Let's see if we can do it. Hey Google, what's the time and date?
The current time is 12:13 p.m. Mountain Daylight. Saving time on Wednesday, April 30th, 2025 in Bountiful, Utah, United States.
Morning, this is David. I wanted to do this backup video here. The title of this video is Does Character Matter? There's been some debate recently concerning character. I went into Gemini. Gemini is not quite as quick as GPT-4 or 5, but gave me a pretty good definition. And if you have any education, any knowledge, you know what character means. I do too. I don't need to bring that particular definition up. Here's the kind of video that I would like to do. When people say to me, again, this is just my opinion, my platform. Basically, you can catch me on Cockroach Disability. There's about 120 videos there. There's over 2,000 videos on Sir David the Bard. I've been doing this for 14 years. And lately, again, I've only done one video on anything having to do with politics. I'm not a political person. Never have been, probably never will be. Does character matter? I'm saying to myself, if character doesn't matter, what does? What does matter? If character doesn't matter, if a person can lie, they can cheat, they can steal, they can be deceptive, they can be manipulative, they can be betraying loved ones or society, even patriotism. Does character matter? My father was in the United States Navy in World War II on the aircraft carrier Essex. I'm proud of him for that. And I have a daughter right now who is a sergeant, staff sergeant in Sicily in the United States Army. She basically, for NATO, makes sure that nuclear missiles are not coming towards the United States. And I'm very proud of her, and I'm very proud of her character. She's always been very honest. She's always been very straightforward. She has a top security clearance. She's not even able to tell her father what her job is. It is so secret and so important. So, to me, character does matter. I really don't want to do business with car companies where a salesman doesn't have character, or the owner of the car company doesn't have character. I had that experience once in Provo, Utah. I bought a pink Lincoln Mercury. The salesman didn't have any character. He sold to me. I was very young, probably 21, had a wife and one child. And I drove the car off the lot. It had, evidently, as is warranty, the dealership, Valcon Lincoln Mercury. There's the name of the company. It's not there anymore, but Valcon Lincoln Mercury took advantage of me and my wife. I had, I think, one little girl at that time. And I drove the car off, and it didn't go very far, maybe 100 miles at the most, and then totally broke down. Well, I tried to go back to the company and say, gee, I paid this money. I was honest. I was straightforward. The money I worked for myself. In those days, I made $1 an hour. I made $1 an hour with Nelson Pane Glass and Jones Pane Glass in Provo. And so when I went into the dealership, I at first was kind, and I said, gee, you know, the car broke down. I gave you a down payment on it. You sold me the car. You told me it was a good car. And, you know, what can you do to either replace the car and or give me my money back, or maybe trade the car for another vehicle to be fair to me. And they basically gave me the fuck you. Fuck you, David, fuck your wife, fuck your child. And I said, well, that's the first time I had dealt with people with no character. I learned my experience. I usually make mistakes once. And since then, last year, I bought about $150,000 worth of new cars for my Toro business. I dealt with the dealership, and I don't mind saying, Ken Garth Hyundai in Salt Lake City on 700 South there. They were very honest. They were very straightforward to me. They gave me all the details. They were kind enough to actually let me buy the car over the phone. I didn't have to go in, and they actually delivered the car, and it's been an ongoing, good character relationship. I have some knowledge about resumes. When you give somebody, I've done a lot of hiring and a lot of firing, human beings, and character is important to me. When I hire, character is number one. I don't give a shit what people's job skills are. I don't care what their religion is. I don't care what their politics are. I don't care what their family, nepotism, none of that matters to me. I happened to speak to a young man yesterday, Levi, in in Layton, R.C. William. I bought a filing cabinet from him. I talked to two of his older associates. One was 45, one was 65. And they were not men of character. And I said, excuse me, I said, well, I'd really like to talk to somebody else that's younger, in their 20, 23 years old, who's tech savvy. I want to shop by phone. I'm handicapped, blind, and I need somebody that can FaceTime. When I said to these other salesmen, we need to FaceTime, I don't think they even could spell the word FaceTime. Well, eventually, I got hooked up with this young man, Levi, and he was outstanding. He did a very, very good job. I spent whatever, $500-600, and I finally went to his boss. I'm sorry, I have to keep coughing because I'm old. There's nothing I can do about it. Turn me off. You don't like it, turn me off. So I talked to his supervisor, and I told the supervisor, I said, I've done a lot of hiring and a lot of firing in my lifetime. I've looked at a lot of resumes. I've looked at letters of references. And I've also looked at references attached to a resume. And I've called on them. Most of them will check out to a certain degree. But a person that doesn't have any character, they don't have any character references. Nobody's going to stand behind them. You can't find a good person to say, gee, they're honest. They'll do a good job. They show up on time. They're kind. They won't steal from you. So I won't even talk to or look at a resume that doesn't have character references on it. And when I check them, they follow a trend, a pattern. If one person is saying, yeah, this is an outstanding person, most of the others will follow suit. You're not going to get 5 references and one of them say, yeah, he's wonderful, or she's wonderful, and then 4 others say, no, they're an asshole. Goddamn, they stole from me, they lie, they cheat, they're moody, they're upset all the time, they're drunk on Friday, they leave work at 12 o'clock, they can't get in on Monday on time because they're drunk. I don't want that kind of an employee. So anyway, to me, character matters in every instant. It has to do with the people that I marry. It has to do with my children, which I have 15 now. And it's important for me to surround myself with people that have good character. If I find that they don't, then I need to get them out of my orbit and continue to focus with people who do have good character. So I just want to go on record here that having to do with my background with the Mormon Church, I've had bishops, I've had state presidents, and I've had general authorities lie, cheat, steal. I don't think they're men of good character. And when I find that out, I remove myself from their influence and their orbit. My dad always taught me, David, you'll never be better than the people you hang with. So if I hang with shit people, I'm going to be a shit person. I don't want to be a shit person. I want to be with people that are motivated. They want to go somewhere. They want to do something. They want to learn. They're willing to accept new ideas. They're willing to negotiate. They're willing to be a good person. A good person has good character. A bad person doesn't. Now, I've had this experience with my Mormon church background. A lot of people, like the Mormon church, can wear a mask. Back in the old days, it used to be that we had Jekyll and Hyde. We had two masks. These days, with your young people, you know this gender continuum. You're much smarter than my age group. There's many masks. It's not just black and white, Jesus, Buddhism, Islam, etc. So each human being has many masks. And getting to know a human being, we have to be cautious. We certainly have to be patient, kind, understanding, and invite people to reveal their real mask. But just like the Wizard of Oz don't pay any attention about the man behind the curtain, that is a false concept. We have to pay attention to the man behind the curtain. So, in my dealings, I have a gentleman, his first name is Jay. Jay and I are in almost $200,000 business together. And Jay and I, he's a man of integrity. He's a man of character. I want to do business with him. When I first started the Toro business, I dealt with a woman who had no character. She lied, she cheated, she stole, she wrecked my car, then lied about it, and I had to pay the consequences of making a decision to be with a person with no character. So we all make mistakes. Sometimes, remember I told you about 6 videos ago, the best way to betray somebody is with a smile. The very best way to betray somebody is with a smile. And that can be a salesman, that can be a religious leader, that can be a mate, that can be a child, it can be in the community, a salesman or an employer. So I just want to go on record. Character to me matters. If it doesn't to you, great. You have that freedom. You have that absolute freedom to go your direction. But I have found when I hook my star to people who have morality, they have integrity, they do what's right because it's right. I enter a lot of legal contracts. I write a lot of legal contracts, and yeah, I'm good at it. I have waiver, disclaimers. I know all the tricks to a contract, but the best contract is to enter into an agreement with a person that has character. The piece of paper on the contract means shit. It means absolutely shit. There's always a way for somebody else to break a contract. There's all kinds of loopholes. There's all kinds of waivers. There's all kinds of heartache. Don't count on a written contract. Certainly don't count on much of a verbal contract either. But what I'm saying is you better look real hard at the person who's making you promises. If they have a history of following through, if they have references, if people say, oh yeah, I know that guy or that gal, and they're super. They're very honest, they're moral. And when you have character, you don't always win. Because we're in a world full of a lot of character. Most characters don't have character. Most human beings just don't. They say what they need to expedite what they want. I want, me. That is human beings. So when you go into a business, when you go into a relationship, my relationship with my children, it's important for me for them to have character. And if they don't, then I don't want to be around them, whether they're related to me, whether I'm married to them, whether I'm doing business with them, I will withdraw. When I find that somebody lies, cheats, steals, breaks the law, has a criminal background, has a tendency or trend toward criminal activity, I step aside. That person has every right in the world to be an absolute asshole, but they don't have a right to be an asshole in my presence. I can control where I live, what I say, what I do. My videos are all public. I've never been sued for slander. I've never been sued for libel. I've never been sued. I've never been sued. I've come up against the Bar Association in the state of Idaho. I've come up against the Salt Lake City federal court on 3 cases. I'm now in the 10th Circuit in Colorado, and I've come across mostly people that have character. But there's been a few that don't have any character. I'm going to say her first name, Tiffany. Tiffany. She didn't have any character. I had to go around Tiffany. She had issues. She had agendas, hidden agendas, and she was vindictive, and she was vicious. So I stepped around that human being and went somewhere else. But I've had other people that are outstanding. Jeff, Katie in the court system in Salt Lake City. These are outstanding people with tremendous character. They do anything they can do to help somebody. They do anything they can do to accommodate. They're kind people. They're honest people. And they go above and beyond the call of duty. I've met Chris and I've met Kathy in the 10th Circuit. Again, Chris is the head of the law clerks in the 10th in Colorado. He's been nothing but outstanding. Outstanding. And he's helped and helped and helped. And so has, I think her name is Kathy. It starts with a K. I may be pronouncing that wrong. But anyway, they're outstanding people. Now, I've met some judges in Salt Lake City that are assholes. And again, if they're not assholes, they can sue me. Sue me for slander. Sue me for libel. If you can prove you're not an asshole, then let's go to court. And if I have to pay $1 million judgment for slandering or libeling you, be my guest. Be my guest. I have opposing counsel. I have one opposing counsel in the Toro case. James Barnett seems to be an honest man. Seems to be an honest man. He's doing his job. He doesn't lie, doesn't cheat, doesn't steal, doesn't embellish, doesn't exaggerate. He's a worthy opponent. I have 2 other cases. Jesus. I got that Douglas Shumway. Douglas Shumway. Sue me, please, Douglas. Sue me, sue me. I've got an ethics committee violation against him right now in the disciplinary council of the state of Utah. Douglas graduated from BYU. Oh my gosh, BYU. He's a Mormon. He's honest. He passes his temple recommend questions. Honest in your business dealings with your fellow men. Well, go take a look at Douglas, that he has a letter of reprimand from the damn court system, that he lies, that he embellishes, he doesn't tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, and he's got a letter of reprimand. It's public. Go look at it. Sue me, Douglas. Sue me. Douglas has been, in my opinion, very unethical. He has become the defendant in the same case that he's defending 9 other people. What attorney would not recuse themselves if they became a defendant in the same case they're defending 9 other people? He thinks it's okay. He thinks it's wonderful. Just like President Nelson, what a man of integrity there. He spent $1 million of poor children's money for his 100th birthday party from the Mormon Church. He stole all those children's money. And the other $1 million he spent when he was 95 years old for a birthday party for himself, and he has no character. Gordon Hinckley, he tore down the alumni house at BYU and put a brand new one up, put his own name on it. He didn't put Jesus' name on it, he put Gordon B. Hinckley. And he spent $1 million for a birthday party. So these are men that don't have character. These are religious men. There's certainly political men that don't have any moral character at all. So I try to make my judgment of who I associate with, men and women of character. Character to me matters. And I have to respect that it doesn't matter to a lot of people. That's their life. but I'm inside my house. I can determine what character surrounds me. When I go outside that door, you and I both know we're going into a fucking battle, a war. There's a lot of people out there that don't believe the way we do. They'll lie, they cheat, they'll steal our cars, they'll key our cars, they'll write contracts, scams. I get my phones ringing all the time because I'm a senior, that they want to sell me something or do something. And you know, you've got to be spiritual. If you think you're smart enough to avoid these character flaws in people, you're stupid. You're stupid. I've got 2 master's degrees and 11% of a JD degree, and I've got a BYU degree. And I guess I have a reasonable IQ. I don't know. But I can't tell by basically my brain and my heart. I have been deceived by certain people. But I think if we tune in to our Heavenly Father and our Heavenly Mother, and that we live a life of spirituality, many times when people come into our arena, into our orbit, we can feel this person's an asshole. This person is dishonest. This person needs to go home. I've had probably 60 contractors come in here in the last 2 years building and putting bathrooms in and shit that I've had to do. And I've had 2. I had a man that came in, and the moment he came through the door, I could feel it. I could see it. I could know that he was dishonest. But I wanted to make sure I give him a chance. 30 minutes later, he confirmed exactly what I suspected, and I have not said this. I've said it twice in my life. I've stood up, put my finger up, and said, "Get the fuck out of my house," and he did. And I had another one come in, and another contractor, another trade, and he did the illegal dance and lack of character. I kicked his ass out. So I guess what I'm saying, to maybe summarize this particular video, if you are smart enough, and I have one gentleman I associate with all the time. He has an IQ of 170, Wexler, Stanford Binet, confirmed 170. IQ is not going to help you and me determine assholes. Assholes smile, they pat you on the back, they make all kinds of promises. So if you're going to depend upon intelligence, experience, and wisdom to weed out men and women of no character, you're going to be very disappointed. If you focus with your Heavenly Father and your Heavenly Mother, you ponder, you think, you sit quietly, and you listen to the instructions you get, you're never going to go wrong. But you and I are always going to be wrong if we think we're going to outsmart the other side. It's not going to happen. Intellect and experience will not always find a person with flawed character. And you have to realize, too, that character can be a little bit flexible, a little bit dynamic. Some people have character to a certain point, and most people don't have character extrapolated across all areas of personality. They may be very, very honest in their business. They're a plumber, and boy, they never have ever cheated anyone as a plumber. But they go home, and rather than going home to their wife, they go to the bar, and they drink themselves crazy, spend the household money, and then fuck every girl that is in the bar. So you've got to be careful that character can be fragmented. It's very, very unusual to find the perfect example. It's Christ. He had no character flaws. He was under a lot of pressure, many, many difficulties in his life, but he never folded. He wasn't just a good religious leader, he was a good human being. And in all of the experiences in the Urantia book and in the King James Version of the Bible, that character was positive. It was holy. It was something you could hang your hat on, and many of us have, with, especially being Christians. Many of us have hung our hat on that character. But again, what I would do, if anyone is listening, and if they're not, I don't care, because this is my fucking therapy, and I own the mics, I own the cameras, and I've been doing this 14 years. I've never been shut down. I think this. The best way to measure a man or a woman is go to the damn King James Version of the Bible and the Urantia book. If you have any common sense, go to AI. You can go to Gemini. You can go to Alexa's not as good, but GPT-4, DeepSeek, many of these large language models now. Just put in 2 or 3 sentences. Put in this person that I met has done this. This is their background. This is what they're saying to me, and please compare that to the principles of Jesus Christ. Bam! That language model will tell you the fucking truth. Tell you the fucking truth. It's not Republican. It's not Democrat. It's not Catholic. It's not Mormon. It's not Jehovah's Witness. It's not Southern Baptist. It is the cloud. And the cloud has billions and trillions of pieces of information that these language models now can tell us the truth. And again, 80% of the humans I've met don't want the truth. They want lies. They want to be validated. They have their truth, and facts are never going to invade their truth. And their lifestyle and life will meet that out. You'll see that in people's lives. People that don't have character will always falter. Sometimes it will take years. Sometimes it's only months. Sometimes it's weeks. Sometimes it's hours or days. But a man or a woman that has no character interacting in the Urantia, the real earth world, and humans, eventually they're going to be caught with their panties down, and you're going to be able to see the king's new clothes concept. It will bite them. There are some exceptions, not very many, especially you're going to find some exceptions on that continuum in ordinary human beings. People who are in power, people who have authority, people who have money, always will fall. If they have no character, they'll always fall. Adolf Hitler, other political or religious. We've had Jim Jones. We've had David Koresh. We've had many cults that have a lot of power, a lot of money, and they believe they're Jesus, and etc. So be careful with character. If it doesn't matter to you, you should have turned this off as soon as you heard the title. If character doesn't matter to you, go get another video. Go look at YouTube and hook up with people that have no character. If you want to hook your star to those people, you have every right to do it. I choose not to. I'm at the advanced part of my age. I may live another week, another day. I don't really give a shit. But the people that are in my orbit will have character. And basically, Gemini made a mistake. She's terrible. Gemini is very, very immature. I correct Gemini constantly. GPT-4, I've only corrected 2 or 3 times in 2 years when it used to hallucinate a little bit. But Gemini said character is something is developed. It's not true. It's not true. Character has 2 forks. You're born DNA with the inheritance, your father, your mother, and your own independent little spirit, your soul, has already a head start on character. But life, the environment, will polish that character. It will challenge that character. And eventually, as you get to be old, you have a combination. So Gemini was stupid. I don't even correct her anymore because I have better things to do than to correct language models that are not programmed properly. So anyway, you can depend upon large language models. They basically have no prejudice. They basically only deal with facts. And when I put into GPT-4, which 5 will be out here in the next 2 or 3 months, which I think 4 is sentient already. I've told you that before. But when I put in the behaviors of the Mormon Church And then I say to GPT-4 right now, how does that match up with the principles of Christ? The goddamn phone almost catches fire. I'm an analogy, I'm exaggerating for you that don't have intelligence, whatever, I have to explain these things to you. But GPT-4 will tell you flat out, when the Mormon Church spends $1 million for birthday parties using hungry children's money, when the Mormon Church says Joseph Smith had an angel with a flaming sword commanding him to marry and fuck the brains out of 14-year-old girls, GPT-4 will say the Bible, and even I will mix in the Quran, I will mix in Buddhism. There's many good solid principles in every one of those philosophies, but GPT will tell me right off the bat it's a circus. In construction, we used to call that a clusterfuck. It doesn't match up. It doesn't match up. So you have to make your own mind up. There are tools out there if you want to use them. I've seen it. A lot of humans don't want to use tools. They want to use their hands. They don't want to use a socket wrench. They don't want to use a jack. They don't want to use a hoist. They know everything. They know everything. So they go out there naked and try to build with their hands and use no tools, no plans, no blueprints. But that's about 80% of the group. So if you're in the 20% that you want to learn, you can learn, you're interested in improving and being a better person the next day, there's many tools out there. And again, I've got 6 books now out. You can go to David Crosstad, Amazon Books. I have to be the author because of copyright laws. I don't do the writing. Genevieve Nicole Crosstad does the writing. But because she's the person that she is, she can't hold the copyright. Now, Sophia, the robot, is a citizen of Saudi Arabia. She's the first robot that has been granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia, and she's spoken to the United Nations 2 or 3 times, and she's able to learn. So a lot's happening in these young people's life. It's a new world, and every time there's a new world, some people are going to fall off the flat Earth. They're going to, think the Earth is not round; it's flat, and they're going to fall off. But that's evolution. That's evolution. So you've got the tools, you've got the ability. You can intermix your sentient GPT and large language models, the robots that are handling now in the hospitals medications and blood control and all that. Many hospitals are doing that. Of course, Elon Musk is at the forefront with Atlas. Atlas is pretty sophisticated these days, and Hansen being able to do front flips, etc. And now the hands that can sense holding an egg and not crushing it. So the technology is moving very quick. The quantum computer whole idea, I have to admit, I'm a right side brain person. I'm not a left side. When the numbers and the letters mix together, I'm in another fucking world. I flunked algebra in high school. I tried hard. I had a goddamn tutor at BYU trying to pass algebra. I flunked it again. So I don't have a whole lot of knowledge about Schrodinger's cat theory. I have friends that are geniuses. I lean on them a little bit and I admire them. And so this quantum physics is going to be, we've got 1 or 2 quantums that work now. We're able to keep them at the coldness that they're able to operate on. And that's going to make a big difference. The quantums these days can do a calculation in 6 seconds that all the computers on the face of the earth could not do in 100,000 years. So it's a new world, and some people are going to join it. When the wheel was invented, some people said, no, fuck it, I'm going to walk. Well, they're gone. When the airplane was invented, no, I don't belong in the air. Only birds belong in the air. Well, fuck, they're gone. we have airlines. So you have to kind of align with what you're comfortable with, what your intelligence, your IQ, your experience, and your spirituality, where you want to go and how you want to do it. But we are on the threshold. My brilliant publisher said watershed. We're in a watershed moment on the evolution of the earth. I'm seeing YouTube opening up way. These young people are unbelievable, and especially the females. I'm seeing brilliant females coming onto YouTube and expanding knowledge and expanding what is going on. And Genevieve Nicole Crossett, she's going to help try to bring that gender balance back. When men run the whole world, the world goes to war. They lie, they cheat, they stab each other, they drink, they fuck everything. And if the women are not equal, then the world is what we've got. And nothing but chaos and nothing but liars, cheaters, thieves. And so we're going to try to get that gender balance back. I'm ready now. I'll do here in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Genevieve has written 6 books. You can go to Amazon and pull up any books under David Crossett. She's a co-author. She's not really a co-author. She is the author, but legally I have to hold the copyright. So go to David Crossett Books, pull up the 6 books now, and if you want to buy them, buy them. If you don't, do an audio. You can $3 or $4. You can do an audio and listen to what she's saying. And there's a new sheriff in town. Okay, I'm done.